today. And this evening, I will be talking about a very important subject that when it comes to selling your homes. So should you renovate or not renovate your home before putting it on for sale? So this is always a very common question that we as a realtor, we always get asked, and it's a very, I would say it's a very good question with a variety of answers. So also, if you again, it's also if you guys have any questions, feel free to write them in the comment below, and we will answer and go over your question Q&A towards the end of the webinar. So now let's get started. And first, let's get a quick overview of the current housing market before we get into it. Okay, so we're fully in a seller's market current now. So right now, there are not enough homes for sale, which is a huge, I would say, advantage for those who looking to sell. So in the normal market, there is a 6-month supply of homes. But today, as started by the National Association of Realtors, there is only a 1.9 month supply of homes available. So this number is the house of the real estate market has dropped 52% from March 2020 to March 21st, as stated by InsideHook.com. So while interest rates are at an all-time low, there has been a surge in extreme buyer competition with multiple offers way above asking. And from what I have seen, most of the homes in the Bay Area selling for under 10 days. But usually a lot faster, and nationally, as reported by NAR, averaging 21 days. So that's now we know the house selling super fast. So let's taking a look at my recent sold homes. You will see that all but one sold above asking, and most of them in way under 10 days. And we have multiple offers, okay? So now we have a view of the market. Let's take a look at not renovating your home. So we're talking about today, the topic is like a renovation or not renovation. We started with not renovation. What is the pros, what is cons? So in today's competition market that is moving so quickly, it can make sense to sell your home as is, when buyers are scooping up homes as fast as they are being listed. It may also be wise to let future homeowners remodel the bathroom or the kitchen to make design decisions that are best for their specific taste and lifestyle. As a seller, your dollar and time might be better spent working on small cosmetic updates, like refreshing some paints and power washing the exterior. So instead of over investing in your home with upgrades that the buyer might change anyway, definitely talking to a professional real estate realtors. So I used to say talking to local realtor who professionally and know the areas. So will be your best bet to determine what decision you should take. Now let's take a look at the pros and cons of not renovating your home, starting with pros, okay? So you see on the left side, the pros is, of course, when you not renovating your homes, like you can still sell fast in this market without having to take time to renovate. Less money, you don't need to put any more money into the house because you save your money for the materials for the remodel work. In this market, it's still possible to receive multiple offers. There's a cons on the right that you are limiting yourself to only buyer waiting to do the renovation themselves. Yes, some of the buyers, especially for first-time home buyers, they may not really waiting to do too much work before they move in, and they may starting doing some light work, change the carpet, or do some painting, special painting, accent wall painting, but they're not really to do too much work. And also, the second thing is if your location is not good. This is something I really like to talk about. If your location is not good, like near freeway or busy street, maybe corner corner lot with a stop sign there, T-section, you know, these kind of things. These will cause buyer to pay more attention to that rather than to your home. So with this kind of, you know, if the house looks much older and with the highway, next highways properties or T-section facing T, most of times the client, they will pay more attention on that. So normally I would suggest the client who has a property with this kind of location, we might need to do some cosmetic work to make the house stands out and caught the people's eyes. And the third thing is the condition. If the condition of your home isn't good, it could scare away that or overwhelm the first-time home buyers. That's true, because a lot of first-time home buyers, they are very visual. They're very visually person, so they like to see nice things. That's how some things like people like to, especially for young millennials, when they walk in the property, they like to see nice staging, fresh painting, nice color. These are just bring them a lot of emotion attached to the property. So now let's move to the facts of renovating your home. Okay, so renovation. Ideally, homeowners getting ready to move should try to avoid over investing in big renovation if they won't make that money back when they sell their house. But certain repairs on your home may be very important. As mentioned before, it's critical, and your best move to work with a real estate agent to determine which improvements are truly necessary and which ones are not a likely deal breaker for buyers. So now let's take a look at the pros and cons again. So look at the left side, the pros. First, home with renovation. The home shows much better, of course. Everything looks new or even looks like new, right? So with a nicer look, properties with the staging will stand out, make everything bright and shine. Of course, it will sell faster, yes. Nice showing property, just like a staging property compared with non-staging property, staging property always sell faster. This is for sure. Sells higher, yes, because the buyer, they will compare with the cost. They're gonna do the work on their own, the timing, everything. Most of the time, people, they more prefer to pay more at the house bidding to buy something moving instead of just buy something with a lot of work, so they have to work on their own. So because the remodel cost may not very easy to estimate, especially for this year, the whole material cost in the market, I know the whole cost went up for 50 to 75%. Seriously, the timing is also one of the things. So multiple offers. Okay, so with nicer property, beautiful home, of course, the bidding war guns go crazy. So they always has multiple offers. The cons on the right side, cons, more time. Yes. For current now, if you do some work, if you come with getting some permits from city, the whole city process going slower. Especially after COVID, everything you have to make appointment going online. Even the materials order process, there's a lot of back orders you have to wait. You know, I remember I went out to buy some ceiling lights and took me about 2-3 weeks to find something I really can use, because everything's have to be back on online order and wait longer time to get it. More cost, yes, I mentioned the cost, the materials cost got gone on a lot more, 50% to 75% this year. The material cost, it's not labor cost, the materials cost. Okay, and then more cash up front. So with remodel, you have to prepare a lot of cash in front. This is something before that you got your property sold and before you get your property closed. So that's some cash you have to prepare in front to pay it off. Well, this is another thing when you working with me, Renna Shee Group. So if you think about selling when you're working with me for the remodeling work, we trying to make the things easier for the seller. So we don't really need you to put the money in front. We will give you the proposals, and once you agree, we get everything done, and then get your property sold, everything will be reimbursed to me through the escrow. So this will make the seller a lot easier. But of course, if your seller think about doing too much renovations, like say extension the house or do giant like big construction project, then that's another story. Okay, there's also higher risk if renovation is not ideal. Okay, this is something I used to see. Sellers, sometimes they did their renovation without checking with local expertise. So you walk the house, you see they put everything in blue, or they did something they are not necessary to do it. Or they're using some very high-end materials which will not reflect in your setting point. So this is something is called not ideal renovation. Also, the higher risk is you may not really get the money back at the time when you're selling, or the timing is not a good control, then you lost your best time to sell. So there's some risk when you do renovation work and get a house sell. So if I am to renovate, where should I start to make the most money back? Okay, let's talk about it. So always start with cosmetic touch-up and actual problems. Okay, why I'm saying this? So first, fresh interior and exterior paint offers the highest return in investment of all home project, with a cost recovery of something about 95.6%. Mid-range kitchen and bathroom remodeling is a runner-up with 94.5%. And the third in line in upgraded, like maybe the landscaping, do some landscaping work with 77.6%. And hardwood flooring is always a good idea, with carpet becoming less popular. Okay, so these charts, I would say can go a long way towards drawing in buyers and driving prices up during a bidding war. So let's look at some examples of common problems you want to fix before selling. Okay, first, the old roof. A lot of people, they don't like work on when they look at the reports, because within our Bay Area, everything sells as is. So being a seller, if you own a single family home, then you need to get a property inspection, termite inspection, and roof inspection. And if you're living in the townhome or condo, the roof belongs to the HOA, but it doesn't mean you don't have to take any responsibility to the roof. If you own a very old roof, or HOA own a very old roof, that's brought by a big concern, especially when they're buying a townhome or condo, because the old roof, that means eventually the HOA gonna replace the roof. Okay, once the HOA replace the roof, I guarantee the HOA fee will go up quite a lot. Either it go $150 or maybe $200, because the roof is a very big cost for HOA. If you own a single family home, replacing a brand new roof, the city need permits, and they usually, for current now, I know the Sunnyvale require at least they need the next replaced roof to be a lifetime roof for at least 40 years. And the cost go for, I would say, at least $20K above. Yeah, that's the new roof cost. And second is the heating, AC, and like a folding heating system. In California, the heating is required. Okay, it's required by the government. So they do need the heating system. If once they felt like working, then you have to put a new heating. That's cost probably around like a 10K. If you think about putting an AC, then another 10K. So normally, I would say 10 years ago, people doesn't care about air conditioning, but now the whole earth is getting warmer and warmer, and people need AC. With AC and compare without AC property, the AC property will sell faster or better. This is what I have been seeing. And then the plumbing issue, okay? A lot of people doesn't like to deal with the plumbing, and they don't like to work on the, you know, the lot leakings underneath, under the crawl space. So the plumbing, the leaking is not good if you've seen too much leak in the property reports. So make sure fix the plumbing issues. We're seeing a lot of buyers asking the question about, is the property is copper plumbing, because they care the copper plumbing is better. A lot of old PVC plumbing, they make out the trees, the roofs go through that, so it's a hassle. Okay, and the fourth one is the old outdated electrical system. Okay, we know that now the majority of the buyer, they are millennials, so they are very computer person. They may have 3-4 computers and TVs and all the electrical things going on. So make sure your electrical panel can support all these needs, and all these, like, you know, the electrical problems sometimes brought up, especially for family has young kids. They want and have the safety issues, you know, GCI things. And also the last things will be the foundation problem. Okay, this is I would say 9 out of 10 people, they really care about the foundation problem. A lot of buyers even will tell them, say, for the brand new foundation, even you put a new house, the brand new foundation may cost only 60 to 70K. It's foundation, as long as it's fixable, it shouldn't be a problem. But we're seeing so many buyers, they scare about foundation issues, and they don't want to deal with that, especially when they're reading the reports. They think that's something eventually still will be an issue going on after they bought the property, even if it's been fixed now. So if you have a foundation problem, make sure get it fixed before you put a house on the market to sell. Okay, so we'll either deal with it or we'll buy low. So while some buyers are waiving home inspection contingencies in their real estate contract out of like a desperation to get their offer accepted, many won't resort to that extreme. So, and as a seller, you don't want to have deal fall through based on the buyer concern of the condition of their home and what they need to put in the future. So I would suggest that if these things, issues you had in your property, one of them, try to get it fixed before you put a house on the market. Okay, so now let's look at some comparison. Okay, I think this is some real samples I would like to talk about it and show you this. So to putting things more into perspective, let's take a look at the two credentials homes that recently sold in Sunnyvale. One was renovated and one was not. These are two, they're exactly in the same community. Okay, so now let's talk about the left one, the 1422. So the 1422 is called 1422 Yukon Drive. So it's in Sunnyvale. So it's in a complex, updated, mid-century modern home in 94087 zip code. So it has 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and 1572 square footage of living on, well, the lot is small, but it's because the townhouse lost. So in all the remodel cost them about like between 150 to 100, maybe 80K. The house turned into a very nice house. And I know they opened up the kitchen with their laundry room, make the more bigger size of the kitchen. They put in the pantry in the kitchen, very modern look. You can go use the address, go to the Reffing or whatever, the online, you can see some inside the pictures. So it was listed for 1.45. Okay, I have to say that based on the listing price, they listed for 145. But in the area, in that complex, the recent sold, the highest was 1.5 million. So you can tell their listing price is pretty much close to the highest sold price. And so that means their listed price is not that kind of very attractive. It's not very low. It's pretty close to what they want. But then you won't believe. They sold, I think they have a 7 or 8 offers, and they sold 1.686 million. That's a townhome, and the house was built in 1974. It's a very old complex, okay? But they sell super well. Their remodel, I'm saying after they remodeled, so they made based on the price, so they made an extra about 186K. So I must also mention this was the highest house was sold in the area in the complex. Okay, so as I mentioned, the high sold was 1.5. So compared with 1686, that's $186,000 higher than the recent 1.5 sold. But at the same time, in the complex on the right one, the 520 South Kashmir Terrace is exactly the same layout, same complex. Actually, this location is better because this one is more inside. The Yukon is outside, so that you can hear the neighborhood car driving by through the yard side. But the Kashmir has a better location and very similar layout. I would say exactly same layout. They just never done any remodel. The seller lived there for about 20 years and they never remodeled it. And the house, the thing is the house wasn't so well because the agent didn't do too much staging. There's a lot of personal belonging inside, trash there, and also the yard not finished. They also has the same 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. Square foot is similar, you know, the yard a little bit small, but it's pretty similar. But you can see the front yard, they didn't do work. And so that house was listed for 1.2, I'm sorry. Let me go to the next. So the house was listed for 1.298850, almost 1.3, okay? And it took them about, I think, 2 months or 1 month and a half. I think it's 1 month and a half to sell because the first one, no one just wanted too much work. And after the people saw the Yukon was bidding and sold for 1.686, and a lot of people who couldn't get Yukon, they came back, tried to buy this Kashmir, and they finally sold still with 3 or 4 offers. And they sold for 1.4, which is 101, like something about like 101 like K over listing price. But all in all, still 250K less than what the other property sold for, okay? So one sold for 1.686 with remodel, and the other one sold for 1.4 without remodel. Which one you think probably about? I'm saying they are selling the same time, 1 week before, one after. Oh no, in the same week. Yes. So you can tell the timing and the work. Okay. So now here is another house I want to talk about it. This is my listing on the left one. The left one, 1673 Camsack Drive in Sunnyvale. So this property is original owner owned for about 30-something years. Yes, very nice owner, but she passed away in the property. She died in the property, so there's a death in the property. But she kept the property okay, well, good condition, and they wanted this whole home sold in a rush. So the brother is a family trust. So the brother doesn't want to put too much money on it, and so they say, okay, let's do very minimum work and get it sold fast. So with only a few touch up, I suggest them to, because the paint's still okay. We did some fresh patch up paint, and cost about $870. Okay, we only spent $870, and plus the cleanup for $550. Okay, I sold this home at a very high price with 10 offers. We just closed it last week. This Monday. We just closed it this Monday. So the reason we didn't do more, was because of timing. Okay, by the timing of the sale, also the reason we so high. So this is something I want to talk about the timings. Oh, let's move to the right property. So this property is 1655 campsite, only 2 houses down from my listing. Okay, this house was remodeling earlier in the year. Well, they started work since last November, and they took about like 2.5 months get things remodeled. All the remodel of, I would say, very cosmetic repair and remodel, and probably they put the brand new kitchen, the bathroom they remodeled. They put a new floor, so it looks like kind of quite newer. And I guess their total cost about, I talked to the agent, she set up something up around 100K, okay? $100K to make the house looks newer, but took them 2.5 months, and including all upgrade the kitchens and bathrooms and the floors, you know. And so they ended up listed for 2.038888. Sorry, it's a very good number. 203, about 2334. And they sold with 20 offers. A crazy beating, because when I remember that time, they listed in the end of January and they got it into contract in the first week of February. That week, after that, I sold my garage. So I know I talked to the listing agent, she got 20 offers, crazy beating, and they sold for 2.72. So compare with my campsite on the left, I only spent $870. I sold for 2.68. And then the right, they spent about 100K, and with 20 offers, they sold 2.72. So you can tell there's not much different. There's like the sold price only 40K higher. The remodel property only 40K higher than my listing that I sold. And then they took also 2 months to get a house ready. And they also spend the money in the front to get a remodel. So if you were the seller, what do you think, which one you would like to pick? With remodel or without remodel? So sometimes you don't want to spend too much time to remodel and miss a good selling opportunity. This is what I'm saying, the timing, right? This one is selling earlier and this one is selling later. And we spend only less than $1,000 and they spend about $100K and 40K different. What do you think? Okay, so this is another property I like to use as a sample. So this property, 946 Sunnyvale Way, just sold 3 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago. It's in Sunnyvale too. So now this house was beautifully remodeled, gorgeous. Okay, it's not a big house compared to the house in the area. I mean, the square footage is 1726 square footage, and they sold a crazy number, over 3 million, 3.05 million. So the remodel was done by the owner. The husband who owned the property is an architect, and the wife, she is a realtor. So she know, and that's why she knows the market so well. Okay, so the remodeling they did was for themselves to live in. They took a quite long time because they, you know, they gone through the city permit. They open up I believe they opened up on the dining and living room, the wall. They make a very open kitchen, and put a beautiful island, and they pick the right color of the painting, nice chandeliers for the dining room. So they were not originally intending to sell. So that's why they took time to and permits and work and efforts, and they pick, you can tell the materials they pick is very personal, very nice. So they kept that well, and they spent about the whole total remodel. I talked to the wife, she said about like 250K, something around that range, and they make the house totally shine. So it took about a half a year, I think maybe like more than that, 6 to 8 months to get a house remodeled. And this including getting all the correct permits. Okay, so the house sold with about 17 to 20 offers, and because it showed so grossly, so in this case, you would rarely see a home of the size sell for such much. Compared to square foot in the area, I think this probably was the highest. Okay, so now I want to share about this property. We just closed a week ago and was sold with cash. Okay, so I have the house before and I have the house after. You see the house before and after. So this 591, the Trumbull Court in Sunnyvale, is the home went a mid-range remodel. I say in the mid-range because the seller has been living there for more than 20 years and about 20 years. Yeah, not more than 20 years, about 20 years. And he's still there, but he moved out and he was thinking about move out of the area and live close to their son. So he decided to sell it. And when I get into the property, well, the house kept nice, but it's a lot of things there haven't been updated, like the kitchens. Still, it's not that old, but it's kind of older. And then it's carpet. The bedrooms, they're darker. There's no any ceiling lights. So I give them some suggestions. This is what I'm saying about mid-range remodel. It's not like the Brownieville, like a gorgeous, the husband is the architect, did everything like a beautiful remodel. So they did put the new floor and the kitchen and lights, and home end up for selling with the old cash offer. We sold for 3.1. Sorry. You see the before and after. There's a lot of like carpets, you know, the bathroom is old, but then you see they put a new floor with new floors, fresh painting, a lot of recessed lights. There's no lights before, a lot of recessed lights. And then changing the floor, changing the paintings with nice staging. The house looks totally different. Okay. So with seeing all these samples, we move on to important questions. Should I renovate? This is the answer will be it depends. Okay. This because of the interesting. So we'll go for the, okay, let's talk about, so this is because of the answer yes or not, depending on your budget. So time frame, budget, the condition of the home is really depends on. That's why I used to tell people, say, when you think about remodel or not remodel for selling, please talk to the local realtor who is the expertise and understand the buying market. Okay, not if the agent only working with the listing, it's good, it's also not good. So why I'm saying I like to still working with buyers, because I know what the buyer, when I'm working with buyers, I know what the buyer wants. So that helps when I work with the sellers, I give them suggestions. So we are in a strong sellers market, so you have a lot of control over buyers. But the best thing to do would be to check with the knowledgeable, experienced realtor, someone like what I'm doing. Okay, I will evaluate your situation, and based on your needs and your budget and a market analysis of the market needs to give you the best advice. So if you do decide that renovating is the best option, I do not want you to waste the money on any renovations that are not necessary or beneficial to the actual profit of your home. So every penny I want you to spend is really will help you at the end of the selling. This is very important to have a deep discussion to understand your situation and give you the right advice. So give me a call, please, or text me. We need to schedule a time for a free home consultation. We definitely need to get a walkthrough. And my team, that's why we always provide the interior designer. We have an interior designer team. We have a construction team. You don't have to use my construction people if you do have someone you as your favorite. But working with our team, we give you the suggestion, and then you can use the suggestion to get the better like a view of for selling, and then make the best and wise decision to fit your needs. Okay, so now let's go for the questions. I hope that's all the information will help you to understand the remodel or without remodel related to selling. So if you have any question, now is the time to go for it. Let's go to this question section. Any questions, feel free to let me know. Okay, so question one. Can an ADU have an oven range? Have an oven range? If so, is a permit required for that? Okay, first thing I need to answer the first question is the ADU can have an oven range? Yes, of course, I think yes. For a permit required for that, I cannot give you exactly answer. We had ADU webinar in a month ago, and that was super popular ADU webinar. I believe that my marketing manager posted on the my website, and they talking about ADU permit issues. So if you still want to rewatch it, feel free to get on my website and watch it. But if you do need a detailed question regarding the permit for ADU, I would suggest you to send me the email and I will hook you up with our ADU expertise. Okay. The question second about would adding solar panel be a good investment? Okay. I have been seeing within these 2 years, I've been seeing a lot of listings go with a solar panel. Solar panel, it depends on if you own the solar panel, that'll be no problems because buyers, they don't care. You can easily transfer your solar to the next homeowners. But if the solar is on lease, sometimes the lease cannot be transferred. So please make sure when you are adding the solar panel, be sure talking to the solar company, make sure your contract can be transferred. Otherwise, that will be an issue at the selling. Any other questions? Feel free. We had a chatting session. You can type your question in the chatting section as well. By the way, so here's the thing. If you still want to rewatch my webinar, feel free to get onto the rennashee.com, my website. So there's a /webinar section, so you can watch our past webinars. We try to do the webinar each month and give some update, and especially we talk about most popular subject in the current market. Trying to answer the questions and give you some update for the market. I think our webinar become a very popular webinar so far. If anyone have any questions related to buying, selling, we are not only working with sellers, we're also working with the buyers. Again, we have a great team. We have our interior designer team come with our construction team supporting our buyers and the sellers. So if you need any help in local, feel free to give me a call or text. Our consultation will be completed free. So before you making a wise decision, getting the suggestion from local expertise realtor is very important. So I'm very happy to help, and I will be always here. And so whenever you feel me, just give me a call. Okay, so it seems like everything's good. And let's see. One more question. Okay, hold on. So what are the top upgrades that add most value to home in terms of dollars selling, like extra, like bathroom, kitchen, flooring, painting? First, definitely no doubts, fresh painting. We always suggest the fresh painting is the first things, because the fresh painting can make the house looks fresh and new. Okay, especially when you're the being owners, you live there for many years. The furniture put there for quite a few years after the sunshine, and the walls may look differently, and also they may have some scratch, color discolorations. So the fresh painting, pick the current market chic color, will make the house looks gorgeous and stands out like new. And what after the painting, I would say the flooring. Yes, the floor is important, especially now there's some market trend for the flooring. People like to have, we have been seeing a lot of millennials, they like hard floor, not really the hard floor. You can go engineer hard floor, or you can go for laminate flooring. The carpet, I mean, people, they're not really like carpet now. They enjoy having the flooring. So the flooring shows really nice with the fresh paint. After the flooring, I would say the kitchen. People spend a lot of time in the kitchen. Either they work in the kitchen, they eat in the kitchen, have breakfast in the kitchen. Kitchen is a place that when you have the family get together, or you have the family visitors, that's the place that people usually being around. After that, the force, of course, will fall into the bathroom. So if you out of your budget, you don't want to put too much in the bathroom. I mean, the vanity will be very cheap. You buy new vanities, finished vanity, you can dump in. So, or you just replace the light features in the bathroom, won't cost you too much. So I'd say the most cost in the bathroom will be the shower. If you replace the shower or remodel the showers, the shower is the most cost. If is out of your budget, so you can do some like upgrade the vanities, or put the new light features, or even small like area tiles, and make the bathroom looks nicer. That's fine. Okay, and then the question 4 is, what percentage of my clients renovate before selling? What percentage of the client renovate before selling? This is some question really hard to answer. Percentage of the selling. I guess your question is saying is that how much you spend it in, how much you can get at the end. That's what I'm thinking your questions. Okay. This is something I have to tell you. Again, it really depends on what kind of work you do and what kind of work you haven't done yet. So that's not the question that exactly that percentage people can give to you. That's how I'm saying, when you think about doing remodel for sale, please call me, let me go there, and we can talk about it. My point is, I'm trying to save your penny, make sure your own money go to the right place. I would say give you the minimum suggestions for the remodel, and want to give you the big point of the selling. And also at the end, my point, when we suggest the seller do the remodel, because we want your house shows well. So the selling price, no one can tell you the exactly selling price. My job is not telling you how much you can sell for. My job is tell you how much I can negotiate. So I want to negotiate a lot more based on the market value. So if the market value is 2 million, my job is to negotiate higher than that. That's my job. So my job is not telling you how much your house can sell for. Okay, we're a negotiator, we're not a price setter. So this is the difference. But always do some work to turn your house much better sell. That's very important. The last question, how old are the houses that are being renovated before sale? okay, if you're talking about your house is 3 years old or 5 years old, you may not really need a renovated. Okay. It depends on the condition, right? Some of the properties, like people living there for 7, 8 years, they kept so well, they may need some very light work. This is something still depends on what. Get the agent to have a walkthrough with the seller is always very important and very necessary. Okay. How many of my clients have renovated? Okay, I have to tell you, we sell about 80 to 100 houses each year. This year, we probably go for more than 100 houses. Not every house we need to renovate it. It's just based on the needs. Even some of the property, we think the seller need to do some work, but if the seller doesn't have the budget and they are not willing to do that, it's totally seller's decision. And we also have the clients want to do the renovation, but we really don't think it's a necessary to do that. So we will give you the suggestion based on the market needs and your situation. So out of all your clients, how many have chosen to renovate? That is what he's asking. Oh, that's what how many client chose to renovate. Well, here's the thing, what we used to do. Okay, my team, we like to have a walkthrough when you think about setting. Once you decided to work with me, I will bring my whole design team, my construction team, to get a walkthrough with you. During the walkthrough, we will give the seller suggestion of the work. Suggestion is the option for the seller to decide it based on their needs. It's not say we force you to renovate it or we not allow you to do the renovate. We always give the seller suggestion. If you spend this money, how much I think you can get more. If you do this, what the market results you can get. This is a topic as deep discussion after we get the walkthrough, and we will definitely give you a proposal. My team always give you the seller a proposal before you make the decision. So we're gonna, based on proposal, we're gonna talk about the option 1, option 2, option 3, and then you tell me what you like, and we can discuss these options, which is the best fits your needs. Okay, so another person asking, so it's worth converting bathtub, stand-up only shower in the master bathroom. Okay, so you're just saying, is it worth converting a bathtub with a stand-up only shower in the master bedroom? Is it worth converting a bathtub? I would say this: if you have 2 bathrooms, try to keep a hallway bathroom with a bathtub, and then make the master bedroom with a standing shower. You don't really have to replace or converting the bathtub to the standing shower. But of course, the standing shower definitely will show nicer and modern. For young millennials, they love standing shower, okay? But depends on the area where your house is located and what kind of the majority buyer you're facing to. So this is something I used to tell the client, sellers, when you think about selling, picking an agent is a very important, not only based on their percentage of commission. There's a lot of great realtors in California. I would say the top 100, there's a top 100 great realtors, but you can't work with the top 100, right? Every of them, they're good, but each of them, they have their strategies. They work different way. They have a different location. So if you think about selling your house, try to work with someone who really understands your area, really understands your market. Because the reason is when you're working with a listing agent, their point is they know the local connections, what they know the agents of local, they know who are the buyers who buy your house. That's the key. When they do marketing, when they do suggestions, when we give you the options, it's based on the buyer's needs, okay? So you can't say you selling the property and facing to a lot young millennials, and then you put your property very classic remodel. They may not appreciate your remodel, okay? Or the area is very family style, and you make house like single person live there. So this is something that's based on market needs. Make sure talking to the local expertise and give you the right suggestions. The last question, have any of your clients have lost money when renovating? No. And I have to say this, okay, based on my suggestion, none of my clients lost money, any money, none of my clients lost money on their renovating. But I did see seller when they did remodeling based on themselves. They didn't talk to any realtors. They did all the work. I even saw one of the seller, they paint, as mentioned, they paint the whole house in blue because some of their friends told them the blue color is the market trend. I don't know why. So they paint everything in blue. They even rent the furnitures. I have no idea why. They rent furnitures with the furniture company themselves trying to get a house staged. And the house didn't sell for the first month. So do you think they lost money? I have to say, probably yes. And they did a very high-end, huge bathtub in the small master bathroom. So yes, definitely they lost the money. When you're working with me, that's my job to protect my client, not losing your money or wasting your time doing something you're not necessary. Okay, I hope that's the answer what you want to get. If you still have any questions, feel free, anytime, feel free, email, text, call. I'm very flexible, and you can reach out to me. Text will be very fast, or email me, tell me where is your location of your house, you know, your contact numbers, and about your question. I'm very happy to answer your question. I'm sorry, there's the last question came in. One more, sorry, the last one. Okay, what's the rule of thumb of property appreciation for dollar times invested? Is it twice or less? I would say depends. This is something standard rules. I'd say, well, property appreciation. I would say if you do investment in the kitchens, the floors, everything, based on your cost, definitely will be twice or, you know, double or even triple. But depends on the timing. Timing is the key. And well, yes, if you did a remodel wrong time, you probably won't get the double or triple for your cost. Still, please talk to me before you make your decision, okay? Okay, thank you so much for spending time with me today. And I appreciate your time. And if you have any question, feel free to reach out to me. I'm Renna Shee, a local realtor, your neighborhood expertise. And I'm looking forward to seeing you from at our next webinar. Thank you and good night.